Are you training for a sub 3-hour marathon? If so, I hope this video will be helpful to you all. I know how difficult the sub 3-hour marathon barrier is, and I know a lot of athletes around the world are training. They're trying to pace, sustain that goal 6:52 mile pace or 4:16 per kilometer pace for that entire distance. And it is a challenge. There's no question about it. Any athlete that's trying to break the sub 3-hour marathon, in my opinion, is an elite athlete. And I was just recently talking to a highly trained physician, podiatrist. He has a personal best of 3 hours and 4 minutes for the marathon, who's wanting me to start coaching him in August. And he has as his goal to break the sub 3-hour marathon before he's 60 years old. And this is a really impressive time, regardless of what age you are. But if you're training for a sub 3-hour marathon, without question, it's going to test you physically, it's going to test you mentally. Pace sustainment, like I said, is absolutely essential. And running easy for too high of a percentage of your weekly volume is not going to get you there. Okay, you have to move beyond focusing just on high volume, thinking that higher mileage is the answer, which most of the time it's not. I've known athletes that are running 100 miles a week that never break the 3-hour marathon, and other athletes that run 40 to 50 miles a week who break the 3-hour marathon. And it's not just about talent. Yes, you do have to have a certain amount of talent in order to break a 3-hour marathon, but what you have to have more of is drive and work ethic. And so if you're lacking in the talent department, you can always make up for it with hard work and dedication. I talk about in other videos the importance of getting beyond just running long, slow, easy long runs every single weekend. You have to start changing up your mindset and changing up your tactics in training to get to a point where you can run 26.2 miles at 6:52 mile pace or 42.2 kilometers at 4 minutes and 16 seconds per kilometer without slowing down. And the key tactic with speed development, doing those VO2 max workouts, is to improve your body's lactate tolerance. You have to get to a point where sub 3-hour marathon pace feels more like 4-hour marathon pace. And it's not something that happens quickly. I've talked about this in other videos too, where if it was my recommendation, I would say focus on, at a minimum, a 16-week buildup and preferably a 20-week buildup. 5 months is absolute essential timing in terms of getting fully prepared to run a marathon under 3 hours. And I think a lot of times athletes rush the process. They think that they can get under the 3-hour marathon barrier in a matter of 8 to 12 weeks. And it's not impossible to do this. There's other athletes that certainly have done this. But you really have to drill down on the types of workouts you're doing if you're going to try to break a 3-hour marathon in that short amount of time. When it comes to running great over the longer distances, the 10-miler distance, the half marathon, the 25K, the marathon distance, longer training, a longer buildup is better. Breaking a 3-hour marathon, if you're training to run a sub 3-hour marathon, focus first on doing at a minimum about a 4-week buildup of aerobic, easy, relaxed aerobic mileage. Again, the reasoning behind this is you're strengthening your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles before you start working on speed development, before you start doing those tempo runs, those fartlek workouts, the intervals on the track, the faster, varied pace long runs I talk about. You don't want to just jump into that type of training in a matter of the first 3-4 weeks of a 16 to 20 week buildup. That's not the way I have my training plans built up, or the running courses. I have a sub 3-hour marathon pro course that I've created for athletes trying to get to that point where they can run 2 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds or faster. I also have training plans that range anywhere from 8 weeks up to 20 weeks. Those 20-week plans are specifically built for those athletes really that are focused on a long-term vision. They have a belief in delayed gratification, not like the athletes that are focusing on 8 to 12 weeks don't have that. They certainly do. But if you want to get great at this distance, you have to focus on a longer buildup, a more strategic setup to your training, and focusing on periodization. It takes anywhere from 21 days to 4 weeks for your body to adapt to any stress you're placing on it. So the longer build-up is better because, again, you're not rushing your fitness. You're allowing your body time to adapt to the tough types of workouts that you're going to be needing to do in order to run a sub 3-hour marathon. The faster you can get at the 10K, the 5K, and the half marathon, the better you're going to be at breaking 3 hours for the marathon. This was, it was a tactic I used when I was training to break 2 hours and 22 minutes for the marathon. I worked toward getting I got my 5K on the roads down to 14:18, my 10K to 31:09, 10-mile time down to 50:54, and my half marathon to 107:06 before I ran under 2 hours and 20 minutes for the marathon. So focusing heavily on your speed development, doing one VO2 max workout per week where you're running at 95 to 100% of your maximum heart rate. You're running at speeds that are significantly faster than your goal marathon race pace, in this case 6:52 mile pace or 4:16 per kilometer pace. And again, the goal is to teach the body to use what it has much of, and that is fat storage. You want to use fat storage at race pace and to conserve what you have much less of, which is carbohydrates and glycogen. So you want to be able to make sure that, again, when everybody's slowing down in that last 10K because they went out way too fast in the first 20 miles or 32 kilometers, you want to be picking up or maintaining the pace so that, again, you get to the finish line with 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds on the clock. And training for a sub 3 hour marathon, there's nothing easy about it. It's fun once you get in great anaerobic shape, but you have to allot sufficient time to adapt to these types of workouts in order to get to a point where you can run this fast. As I talked about in other videos that I've made, mental rehearsal, mental training, spending 10 to 15 minutes on a daily basis, not skimping the process, not just doing a few of the fundamentals correctly, but doing all the fundamentals correctly, will get you to 2:59:59. Visualizing yourself getting across that finish line with that time on the clock, running at a very high level, running relaxed, running confident, passing people, not getting passed, seeing yourself drinking in the race rather than just sipping in the race. A major mistake that so many runners make and miss and end up missing their goal time because, again, they're thinking that they can get through this race by just sipping a few Dixie cups during a 26.2 mile or 42.2 kilometer race. I've been there too. I've made that same mistake in the past, and it cost me dearly in terms of times. I could have ran well under 2:20 probably years ago, and again, I kept making that mistake until I got it right, where I started focusing heavily on drinking in practice, finding out how much fluid my body, my stomach could handle, so that when I got to the race itself, I didn't make that same mistake. I found out how much I could usually handle, and so that I wouldn't get dehydrated in the race. So don't make that mistake. This is something you can start working on today during your training. Start putting water bottles out every 3 miles or 5 kilometers during your long runs, and practice drinking. Watch any of the top marathoners on TV or your local area. I mean, these athletes are drinking in the race. They're not just sipping. Okay, so don't think that you're going to get a cramp if you drink too much. Practice that in training. Find out what is the optimal amount for you, because we're all different. Find out what the optimal amount is for you in training, so that you don't make and that you go into the race well prepared, because you've practiced this over and over and over again. Longer tempo runs. If you want to break a 3 hour marathon, you have to get beyond just doing anaerobic threshold runs, anywhere from 4 to 5 miles. Fantastic effort if you're training for a 5K or a 10K. But if you're looking more at the half marathon distance or the marathon distance, it's my recommendation to work to a point gradually, not quickly, but gradually, get to a point where you're doing those tempo runs of anywhere from 7 to 10 miles, or even up to around 12 miles in length. A tempo run it's going to be slightly faster than your goal race pace, which is key. You want to run. That's why the speed development workouts that you're doing once per week. And I have this built into training plans, and again, the sub 3 hour marathon pro course, all of my courses, I focus on this. We focus on gradually building the athlete up. First the focus is on aerobic training, then specific marathon training phase, then we move into the speed development phase, then we focus on doing the taper phase, where we start dropping volume, dropping intensity 10 days out from the main marathon event. And that's what you want. You do not want to go into your main marathon feeling fatigued. And I'm not saying that a 3-week taper doesn't work for a lot of athletes, because a lot of athletes still have set personal bests using a 3-week taper. But my philosophy is start considering doing a 10-day taper. Start dropping that volume and intensity 10 days out from your main race, continuing to remind your legs of what you're wanting them to do. And let's be honest, 10 days is plenty of time for your body to rest going into that main marathon event that you're going for. And I think a big mistake a lot of runners make that are trying to break the 3-hour marathon is, again, they start dropping volume and intensity too far out from their main race, and then they go into the race feeling tired. A lot of times runners are running far too high a percentage of their weekly volume at an aerobic, too high of an aerobic percentage. You know, the best middle to long distance runners are running around 40% of their weekly volume at or even faster than their race pace. And this is why the best middle to long distance runners from Kenya, Ethiopia, Japan, here in America, around the world, they're making it look easy for a reason. They're spending a higher percentage of their weekly volume at paces that are more anaerobic. So naturally, it's going to make, you know, over time, those athletes are physiologically adapted to those really, really hard training efforts, so that when they get to the race, they've tapered down correctly, and they've trained at such a high percentage of, you know, they've recruited their fast twitch muscle fibers, which is what happens when you're doing those hill repetitions, when you're doing VO2 max workouts. The more fast twitch muscle fibers you can recruit, the more economical, more efficient you're going to race. And that is key. You want to slow down less than your competition and maintain the pace longer than your competition. So this is a very important topic. I know a lot of you are trying to break this 3-hour marathon. It's both mental as well as physical. I think it's the mental piece of breaking 3 hours is even greater than the physical preparation. You have to believe that you're going to do this, and writing down your goals and setting timelines for yourself and keep holding yourself accountable is absolutely essential if you want to run a time this fast. In my opinion, anybody that's going after a 3-hour marathon is an elite runner, because such a small percentage of athletes each year break the 3-hour marathon barrier. And if others can do it, so can you. You just got to change up your tactics. You got to set your training, you know, invest in yourself, focus on a training plan that's going to work best for you, and follow that training plan to a T. Focus on all the fundamentals: hydrating well, making sure you get plenty of sleep, visualization, mental rehearsal, training at a higher percentage, like I talk about, studying what the best middle to long distance runners do and duplicate their work habits. You don't have to be a world-class athlete, but you can learn from what these athletes are doing and duplicate what they're doing and get similar results. So I hope this video is helpful for you all that are trying to break the 3-hour marathon. Check out the resources below this video. Hit the bell icon and the subscribe button, so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. Please like this video, share this video. It helps more athletes around the world see these videos that I create. I really appreciate all of your support. Let me know in the comment section below, what is your current best and what is your particular goal for this distance? I'd really like to hear where you all are at in terms of your marathon preparation, where you ran your fastest time at. Was it a flat course? Was it a hilly course? And what is your goal time, and where do you want to run that time at? Let me know in the comment section below. So wish you all the best in your sub 3-hour marathon preparation, and I look forward to hearing about your 2:59:59. I'll talk to you all in the next video.